Shocking truth, 5 bone-chilling differences between Roman and American slavery exposed. In a world of shadows, where the echoes of the past still claw at the edges of our consciousness, an unsettling truth lurks. Can you feel it? The cold chill that snakes down your spine? Imagine ancient Rome, the glimmering city renowned for grandeur, but beneath that shining facade lies a dark underbelly. Slaves, chained and broken, their eyes void of hope, lived amongst the opulence, suffering a torment unimaginable in today's era. Their minds held captive, not just their bodies. Lust, power, and ambition twisted the hearts of men, driving them to commit unspeakable acts. And here, in America, the narrative somehow feels different, yet horrifically the same. The scars of history bleed still, teaching us the depths of human cruelty. Picture the auction block overseer's whip crackling, sweat-soaked brows, trembling families torn apart. It's a gut-wrenching scene, a reality echoing through time. But why was the experience so different? What lies behind the sinister curtain of discomfort we're too afraid to pull back? The first difference slams into you like a fist, a shocking recognition that Roman slaves had a potential life outside of servitude, a chance for manumission. They could buy their freedom. Lives stretched out before them, like a glimmering star on the horizon. But American slaves? Their futures were bound in chains, snuffed out before they ever truly began. A terrifying thought, isn't it? As the tension escalates, we delve deeper. The second shocking truth shakes you to your core: while Roman slaves could own property, accumulate wealth, and even engage in business, the same was seldom true for American slaves. Can you hear the gasps around you? The disbelief? Silent protests ringing out in the dark. What does it mean to be stripped of everything, even the barest glimmer of achievement? Before we continue, I need to give you an important heads-up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Now, let's spiral back into this violent history where the third difference stands ominously. The Roman slave, eerily educated, could turn the tide, while American slaves faced the brutal fight against a system hell-bent on keeping them ignorant. What a chilling reminder that knowledge is power, and the denial of it becomes a weapon of oppression. The darkest hour reveals itself, layering over the last two facts. The mistreatment, the fear, the looming dread of punishment rushed through both skies. But, oh, the Roman masters often saw their slaves as valuable assets, while American slave owners viewed them as mere property, disposable, replaceable. The raw emotional weight of that realization makes your heart pound, doesn't it? Flashing images of chains, bloodshed, and the hollowed eyes of the forgotten dance in your mind. As you sit there, breath caught in your throat, ask yourself, why does history repeat itself? What revelations still hide in the shadows? What's the fifth bone-chilling truth that could awaken this cruel comparison? You'll need to dive deeper to find out. What horrors lie just beneath the surface, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover them? As shadows deepen and the creaking weight of history settles around us, we inch closer to the fifth bone-chilling truth. Your pulse quickens, each heartbeat raises the stakes. What more could we possibly uncover? It's as if a fog rolls in, concealing the very ground beneath our feet. There's a hidden reality waiting to erupt, something that binds the lives of these enslaved souls across time and space. Let us peel back one last layer. The fourth jarring difference leaves a scar on the conscience. In ancient Rome, some slaves found a flicker of hope through the ability to form families, create bonds of loyalty, and weave small communities into the fabric of their existence. They could experience love, joy, and even sorrow, despite the chains that bound them. They shared meals, whispered dreams, and forged a brooding strength that would flourish in secret seeds of rebellion. But then consider American slavery, a horrific reality stripped of such basic humanity. Families were ripped apart without a moment's notice. Children were wrenched from parents, parents sold like cattle, never knowing if they would see their loved ones again. Could anything be more horrifying than a mother's scream echoing in the night, a father's despair as he watches his child vanish into the darkness of the slave market? That disconnection, that brutal severing of bonds created not just emptiness in the heart, but voids in entire generations. Can you feel the suffocating weight of that loss? Picture the shattered families scattered like forgotten dust in the wind. It's a truth so raw, it gnaws at the very fabric of our humanity. Are we truly different in our suffering? Or is there a haunting echo that links us all? In a sudden twist, the tide turns darker. A revelation emerges like a wailing ghost, lingering in the air, demanding attention. In Rome, a slave could rebel, find a moment to grasp freedom, perhaps even join the ranks of the freedmen. But in America, the very idea of revolt was crushed with brutal force. The systems and structures of confinement were built on terror. Whispers of rebellion were greeted with the gallows, the iron mask, or worse, a life of torment without an escape. The gut-wrenching truth settles in. Why were methods of punishment so unimaginably savage? Because the system feared what it could not comprehend: the indomitable spirit of the human will. They knew the flicker of rebellion was a flame that could engulf the world. And thus, the chains tightened, the overseers grew crueler, and the cogs of oppression turned with a fierce desperation. But why should that fear come as a surprise? Control through bloodshed created an atmosphere thick with despair. Did it ever occur to them that the true terror was not in the slaves rising up, but rather the haunting silence of compliance? For even silence is a choice of its own. Sitting on this cliff of history, with the fangs of past injustices snapping in the air, you cannot help but wonder what the fifth shocking truth has in store for you. Will it shatter your understanding of time and suffering? Will it reveal just how interconnected these stories truly are? Are we prepared to grasp the torch of knowledge, and allow those whispers of the past to illuminate our path forward? As you ponder these chilling questions, one undeniable truth looms on the horizon: the fight against oppression isn't just a battle of the past. It's a fire that burns bright today. What threads connect these lessons to modernity? The answers await, but tread carefully into the next chapter. As you stand on the edge of this history-laden abyss, a chill runs down your spine. The air is thick with anticipation, as if the spirits of those who suffered are holding their breath, waiting. There's no denying the weight of their stories, each heartbeat echoing through time. The fifth truth looms closer, wrapping its icy fingers around your heart. The connection you've been searching for, the thread that intertwines past with present, is about to be revealed. This truth will not only illuminate the horror of what was, but also how it festers in today's world. In ancient Rome, despite the harsh chains of bondage, some slave owners recognized a legal bond with their slaves. In certain exceptional instances, a master might bestow freedom. Those chosen few could live out the rest of their days beyond the suffocating confines of servitude, a glimmer of hope shining through the darkness. They became a part of society, perhaps even thriving in their new roles. Now imagine the opposite: American slavery. Here, the bonds were not just chains, they were ironclad. There was no escape, and the brutality ramped up with a sheer disregard for life. The slave's freedom wasn't a possibility, it was a fantasy woven into the fabric of desperate dreams. Freed slaves were not welcomed back into society but hunted, denying them the dignity of reclaiming their lives. The pavement was stained with the blood of hope dashed against the cold, cruel wall of oppression. As you grapple with the implications, another truth emerges, twisting through the fog. In Rome, slaves often had the right to seek protection through legal avenues, albeit limited. They could even appeal to the gods. A flicker of power, a thread of control, however fragile it may have been. But this was brutally extinguished in America. When enslaved individuals sought justice, they found only the deafening silence of a system stacked against them. Courts were not allies, they were tools of oppression. The law itself became a weapon, serving only those with power and money. The bleak certainty of injustice underlines their struggle, a reminder that the deck was rigged from the start. The gut-wrenching waves of realization swell. Could we ever truly comprehend the depth of such despair? The very essence of life was denied to these people. In their fight for existence, they were met with a relentless storm of hatred and dehumanization. With every step deeper into this chilling narrative, you may wonder, is this just an echo of history, or is it a reflection of our modern struggles? This is where the urgency lies, recognizing the chains that still bind many today. As the fog starts to clear, you hear it, the faintest whisper of rebellion rising from the ashes of the past. Is it bold enough to ignite the fires of change? Or are we silencing it again, repeating the cycles of history? As you grapple with this stunning revelation, consider the question, what will it take to break free from the cycle? The answers are lurking in the shadows of our history, waiting to be uncovered. Will you dare to look deeper? The darkness begins to flicker with a strange light, twisting shadows contorting in ways that make your gut churn. Is it your mind playing tricks, or is there truly something lingering in this historical void? You tread cautiously, unease prickling your skin like ice, while your heart races in morbid anticipation. Suddenly, it hits you. This isn't merely a trip through dusty records or faded stories. It's a journey through the lifeblood of humanity, one that beats in sync with today's struggles. The revelations pulse through you, each one more profound than the last. As the moments hang in the air, a deeper truth begins to claw its way to the surface, a truth that suggests that the past isn't an old tale, but a living, breathing entity that stretches its dark fingers into the present. The stark contrast between ancient perceptions of slavery and the vicious cycle of American oppression leaves you aching for answers, a longing for understanding that feels insatiable. You recall the whispers in the hollow halls you once walked, echoes of names that speak of rebellious spirits, forces of change that challenge even the tightest chains. How many stories exist of individuals who rose from the ashes, who refused to be shackled by destiny? Names, faces, dreams lost but not forgotten. With every beat of your heart, the urgency mounts. And just as you convince yourself to delve deeper, the chilling intensity thickens. A sense of dread washes over you, a clenching sensation that suggests an impending revelation, a dark turn you cannot yet see. It's as if the air itself is warning you. Then, an unexpected sound breaks the silence. A soft thud, followed by the rattle of chains, echoes in the distance like an old specter calling you forth. You follow the sound instinctively, your body almost betraying you as you venture closer, heart pounding in your chest, each breath a crisp reminder that the air is thinning. The walls seem to close in, straining against your resolve. What lies ahead could either be the key to breaking the cycle or a harrowing trap. The air gains weight, heavy with unresolved histories, and you can feel the raw import of your journey pressing down like a storm overhead. As the light shifts, revealing grim details etched into the walls, marks of those who once were, it becomes clear, icons of suffering and survival stand before you, and then, a chilling whisper breaks through the suffocating silence. A voice, barely audible yet unmistakably present, calls out. Remember us. Your breath catches. You grasp at the implications. You understand that to grasp the truth fully, one must confront the pain and the scars still etched in society today. They are undeniable, echoing past injustices in alarming precision. But whose stories remain untold? Who is still being silenced in this ongoing struggle against oppression and erasure? The moment feels electric, alive with unspoken questions. What will you uncover about your own blind spots, your own indifference to the struggles that continue to play out under your very nose? With every step, the shadows grow bolder, urging you onward, yet uncertainty remains, thickening the air. The past calls, relentless and unforgiving, and as your resolve solidifies, you realize the time to act is now. But just before you take another step forward, a bone-chilling sound sends shivers down your spine. The chains rattle louder, the whisper shifts into a thunderous chorus of voices, rising from the ground, urging you to unravel their fates. What will they reveal? As the light flickers once more, the weight of their histories pushes you to confront the heart of the cycle. Are you ready to face the truth, no matter how monstrous it may seem? The air crackles with tension as the chorus of whispers swells, rising and falling like a haunting tide. Each voice a desperate plea, resonating through the darkened corridors, pulling you deeper into their world. You've crossed into a realm thick with emotion, dread mingling with an insatiable curiosity. You grip the flashlight tighter, its beam dancing over the walls, illuminating fragments of a story long dormant. Every echo sends a surge of adrenaline coursing through you. What's down this path? Are you daring enough to confront the ghosts of the past? You hesitate, just for a moment, before the voices compel you onward. They swirl around you, an unseen current, guiding your movements like marionettes under the strings of history's cruel hand. As you step into a narrow chamber, the air grows colder still, wrapping around you like an old shroud. Your heart thunders in your chest, drowning out the whispers, only to be replaced by a new sound. The clinking chains are louder now, jagged and grating, as if they speak of broken lives bound in anguish. You swallow hard, feeling a lump constricting your throat. Here, the light reveals more than you anticipated. Ephemeral shadows flickering against the walls, figures frozen in time, caught in the midst of their struggle. You step closer, drawn to a mural depicting the harrowing escape of a woman, shackles barely holding her back as she lunges toward freedom. Each stroke of the artist's paint carries a weight that breathes life into her despair. Will you carry our stories? One voice wails, a high-pitched cry dulling your senses, slicing through the heaviness. It feels personal. It feels urgent. You stand at a crossroad, knowing you can either walk away or embrace the challenge. But the stories have momentum, and you feel their pull like an ocean tide, moving deeper. Fragments of conversations swirl around you, snippets of lives lived under the weight of oppression. They speak of resistance, courage, and the painful cost of freedom. Ghostly eyes stare back from the shadows, their gazes piercing through the veil of time. Each pair holds sorrow, anger, bold rebellion, all waiting for recognition. For remembrance, you stumble upon a weathered record on the ground, a dusty book that looks out of place in this ghostly haunt. As you brush away cobwebs, a shiver runs down your spine. The pages are yellowed but filled with accounts of those who fought back, narratives woven with themes of sacrifice and resilience. You skim the text, your pulse quickening, every name inscribed holds a story begging to be remembered. Suddenly, chaos erupts. The whispers crescendo into a deafening roar, a flood of voices calling for justice, rising like a storm. It feels like a plea for action, awakening something deep within you. You choke on the air, overwhelmed by the weight of their collective sorrow. In that moment, a blinding light surges from the end of the chamber. You squint against it, the shadows retreating momentarily. But ahead, it looks like a doorway. Or is it a trap? The soothing light is juxtaposed against the turmoil behind you. Do you dare to step toward the light? Just as you make your choice, a final voice rises above the cacophony, clear and resonant. You must decide, will you break the silence or let it consume you? With your heart racing, you take a breath. What awaits beyond the threshold? Can you handle the truth that draws closer? The air grows thick with anticipation as you take a step forward. The moment your foot touches the ground beyond the threshold, the overwhelming light fades, revealing a stark, cold chamber. The shadows you left behind feel like a distant memory, though their whispers still linger, brushing against your ears like soft, haunting breezes. Your flashlight flickers, illuminating strange symbols carved into the stone walls, ancient runes that hum with what feels like power. Each pattern seems to pulse, as if the very stones are breathing with the pain of those who came before you. Suddenly, the clinking chains grow louder, echoing off the walls like a heartbeat. You turn, expecting to see something lurking in the darkness. Fear wraps around you like a vice. But it's just the sound, rhythmic yet disjointed, like the echoes of an unseen prison. Ahead of you lies a massive altar, its surface stained with what looks like darkened memories or perhaps something more visceral. The air thickens with dread. Step by step, you approach, drawn by an invisible force that beckons you to listen, and then, you hear it, a low sob, followed by a voice, barely above a whisper, "Forgive us, we were lost before we found ourselves." You squint, straining to see, and as your gaze adjusts, a flicker of movement grasps your attention. Shadows leap across the altar, forming silhouettes of those trapped not only in chains but in their stories. A figure rises, sleek and sorrowful, a woman intertwined with the darkness. She reaches towards you, her fingers trembling as if the weight of her past is too much to bear. Who will remember us? She asks, vulnerability edging her voice. Who will speak our names? The question reverberates through the chamber, sending chills racing down your spine. You realize you stand at the epicenter of a truth long buried, hidden beneath layers of silence. You understand now, this place isn't just a grave. It's a sanctuary for forgotten voices, a call for reckoning. Your heart races as another memory floods your mind. A name, a single name escapes your lips before you even think about it. Mary? The weight of it wraps around you tightly. The woman's ghostly figure flickers, her face softening even as tears stream from her eyes. Yes, remember, she sighs, but just as hope ignites, the chamber shakes violently. The walls tremble as the shadows surge, growing more chaotic. You feel the stories pressing against you, demanding your attention, their longing igniting fear. What price would you pay to give them life? Suddenly, a deep rumble shakes the ground, sending you stumbling back against the altar. The figures twist and turn, their expressions morphing with a mix of anguish and desperation. Do not turn away. We are your history. We are your ancestors. Their pained cries drown out the echoes of the past. You squeeze your eyes shut, drowning in the chaos swirling around you as the whispers crescendo into a feverish pitch. Faces flash before you, brave, defiant, broken. There's a haunting promise woven within their cries, but it eludes your grasp, slipping away like sand through your fingers. What happens if you break the silence? What if you choose to hold the weight of their stories? The air grows thick, choices loom like shadows on the wall, each one a reflection of your own fears and freedoms. Just as you reach for that promise, an unbearable rush of wind sweeps through the chamber, extinguishing your flashlight. You're swallowed in darkness. The last thing you hear is the trembling of their voices, rising and falling like a heartbeat. Will you save us? With your hand stretched out into the void, you know the threshold between choice and consequence is razor thin. The very air buzzes with anticipation, leaving you breathless as an icy whisper stirs beside you. Decide, now, before it all fades away. What will you choose? What dark truths will you confront in the abyss? The darkness swallows you like a storm, thick and consuming, wrapping around your body until every breath feels like a struggle. You can barely hear yourself think amid the chaos of voices crashing together, a cacophony of sorrow intertwined with desperation. Each cry pulls at your heart, wrestling with your instincts flee or fight. An echo of Mary's name lingers in your mind, echoing softly against the suffocating silence that follows the wind. You search for the source of that haunting melody of despair. But there's nothing but the palpable weight of expectation crashing down upon you. Can you hear us? A voice slips through the void, sharp and clear. It's a boy's voice, pure and innocent, yet coated with a film of anguish. We were loved once. We were dreamed of. But now we are forgotten. The pain in his tone is a knife, twisting deeper into your heart. Do you see us? He pauses, the silence pressing in heavy. Please, don't ignore us. An instinct hangs in the air, urging you to respond. You open your mouth, but words die on your lips. You can barely grasp the swirling emotions washing over you: fear, empathy, guilt, all clawing for dominance. But the weight of their suffering draws you closer, like a moth to a flame. Despite the shadows swirling, you catch a glimpse of glistening tears, their faces momentarily illuminated by the faint glimmers of light seeping through cracks in the stone. They're marred by pain, echoing the sorrow of a history buried under layers of oblivion. I will remember you, you whisper, unsure if the words make it past the threshold of darkness. In response, the air crackles. The shadows twist and writhe as if your words struck a chord buried deep within. For a fleeting moment, calm descends, allowing you to breathe again. The cries of the spirits soften, transforming into a hesitant murmur, your heartbeat sinking with their collective sigh, but then, dread returns, slinking back in like mist. "You've awakened us," cries a voice, deeper and more commanding, "but can you handle the truth?" That question pierces through your chest, and the intensity of it makes you shudder. The shadows blur with anger, and the room begins to tremble once more, shaking loose centuries of silence. "Face the truth," echoes the chorus of voices, reverberating through the chamber and washing over you like icy water. A vision floods your mind, flashing images of freedom, of chains being broken, of voices shouting for justice. But that isn't all you see. Blood stains the earth, grief coloring the dreams of those who dared to hope. You stagger back, horror pooling in your stomach. "I can't bear this." You cry out. But a chorus of pleas answers, "You must. You have to carry us forward." Suddenly, the air shifts threateningly. The walls pulse madly, the symbols carved into the stone glowing with a furious intensity, enveloping you in a blinding light. An unbearable weight descends upon you, a pressure that crushes the air from your lungs. The voices return, fierce now, a tempest demanding your response. The stories of our suffering must be told. Will you bear the burden? Your legs tremble, adrenaline flooding your system, quickening your breath. You have never felt so small, so insignificant beneath the weight of their history. The choice before you is like no other. Will you carry their stories, or will you choose to turn away, with hands still outstretched? Your heart races, grappling with the burgeoning fear of what lies ahead. The shadows shift ominously, hanging like thunderclouds, promising a storm of truth. And just as you gather the strength to respond, silence envelopes you, deeper than before. A new voice, gentler, filled with longing, breaks through the stillness. Will you make a choice before the dawn arrives? The question lingers, pulling at the very essence of who you are. And just like that, another figure emerges beside you, flickering into view, ready to reveal what lies in the depths of the abyss. What will you discover? What burdens must you bear? You blink, the light that surrounds you fading to reveal a small figure shimmering in the gloom. It's a girl this time, her eyes big and glistening with unshed tears. She's no older than 10, yet her expression speaks volumes. "You have to help us," she whispers urgently, the desperation in her voice tightening your chest. "Who are you?" Your voice feels small, lost among the cries and whispers swirling like a storm. "I'm Clara." She steps closer, her little hands outstretched, fingers trembling. "I was taken. We all were. Each one of us has a story that's never been told. You can tell it, you must." Clarity pierces through the haze of fear, and you feel an odd sense of responsibility take root within you. A lurching sensation makes you doubt. But what if I can't? What if it's too much? Clara's gaze hardens, determination flaring. "It will be hard. It will hurt. But silence is worse. It's a prison of the soul." The walls shake again as if in response to her words. The shadows dance like wild creatures poised to strike. The tension is a living thing, pressing down on you, urging you to act. What happened to you? The spirits around you stir. Clara takes a deep breath, her voice lifting above the din. "We were taken in the night. Our laughter turned to screams, our dreams twisted into nightmares. We were stolen from our homes, our families shattered, we aged in chains." Each word grips your heart tighter, squeezing out any remnants of naive hope. You want to look away, but her need keeps you trapped, drawn into the gravity of their torment. "But why? Why me?" "Because you're still living," Clara presses. "You can make the world see us, to remember us. The dawn doesn't just bring light, it brings truth. You have to let it in." As she speaks, the air shifts. A crushing heaviness presses on your shoulders, pulling you down. You can feel it's more than just anticipation, it's the weight of forgotten souls begging to be recognized. I don't know if I'm strong enough," you stammer. Suddenly, the boy from before appears beside Clara, his face alight with an impossible hope. "You won't bear it alone. We'll be with you every step. We're counting on you." They collide against your doubts, shattering your reservations with each pleading gaze. Their stories swirl around you, a tornado of anguish and loss, and you know, deep down, that you can't turn away. A flicker catches your eye. From somewhere within the shadows, a small piece of parchment flutters down from the ceiling, swaying in the oppressive air. Without thinking, you reach out to grab it, fingers brushing the cold edge. The moment you unfold it, a rush of memories floods your mind, faces of the lost, echoes of laughter and pain intertwined. But with each memory, a companion emerges, a voice whispering ominously, "Will you tell their tales if it costs you your own?" Fear surges through you, shaking your resolve. Each look from Clara and the boy anchors you, yet the darkness pulses around you, eager to swallow you whole. You're faced with a choice: delve into deeper truths, risking everything, or retreat into the comfort of silence and forgetfulness. A thunderous roar erupts around you, and the figures begin to blur, twisting in agitation, ready for your answer. Will you stand with us as the dawn approaches, or will you hide in the shadows? Their intense gaze pierces through, leaving you suspended on the edge, teetering between bravery and dread, between the known and the unknown. What price will you pay to carry their stories? And will you be able to survive the revelation that waits just beyond the dawn? The moment stretches, an eternity trapped between dread and resolve. Clara's eyes shimmer like beacons cutting through the night, and you can almost feel the weight of every lost moment pressing on your chest. They're waiting for you, but more than that, it feels like the entire world is leaning in, ears bent to hear what you will choose. "Okay," you finally whisper. The word barely escapes your lips, but in that instant, the shadows shatter, and the air crackles with an electric tension. "I'll help you." A powerful wave sweeps through the figures around you, a collective sigh mingling relief with confusion. Clara beams, a flicker of joy tinged with sadness. "Thank you," she breathes, and the boy nods vigorously, hope pooling around them like light spilled from an open jar, but just as quickly, their expressions darken again. "The stories are dangerous," the boy warns, his voice trembling slightly. "You don't know how powerful they can be, how the shadows want to keep them buried. There's more you need to understand," Clara adds, her eyes becoming serious again. "The moment you start uncovering our truths, the darkness will come for you. It won't just watch. It will fight back." The flicker of fear in their voices sends a shiver down your spine. You nod, now fully aware that this journey won't just be emotional. It's a battle not just for them, but for yourself, your very soul. As if responding to your growing resolve, a low growl reverberates through the air, rumbling ominously. Shadows swirl around you, darkening further. You can feel them reaching out, probing, testing you. You swallow hard, forcing down the lump in your throat, when Clara's voice pierces through the suffocating darkness. "Remember to listen," she urges. "Sometimes we can only be heard if we make ourselves echo." Tentatively, you close your eyes and try to connect with the energies surrounding you. An overwhelming surge of emotions floods over you: fear, sorrow, rage, and even a flicker of hope. As you open your eyes, the shadows have thickened, almost alive, curling around your feet like serpents. Suddenly, images flash before you, pounding rapidly like a heartbeat. Faces, names, and memories bleed into one another. Children laughing, women crying, families torn apart. It's a whirlwind that pulls you deeper, each vision more vivid than the last. The shadows whisper, their voices a haunting blend of anguish and anger. You want to understand? You think truth is free? Your heart races. The pull of their stories feels like a tide threatening to engulf you. Then, an eerie stillness blankets the air. The shadows withdraw slightly, revealing an unusual figure at their edge, an old woman with weathered skin and haunted eyes. "Choose now," she intones, her voice cracking like ice underfoot. "Reveal the stories, or spare yourself the pain." But know this, one way or another, you will face the darkness. Pain prickles at the edges of your consciousness, and you could almost feel it suffocating you. You take a deep breath, feeling both Clara and the boy's steadfast presence beside you, but what will be the cost of this choice? Will you be ready to face whatever old ghosts lurk in the shadows, ready to tear at your truths and fears? Will you embrace the fight? Clara's voice echoes, resolute as the darkness closes in again, daring you to respond. Your response clings in your throat, and the shadows shift dangerously close. What lies ahead awaits, and you can feel the haunting implications of your choice bearing down. Are you truly brave enough to uncover the horror, or have you unwittingly stepped into a trap far beyond your comprehension? In the chilling silence that followed your promise, the figures around you began to swirl like smoke in the wind, lighter moments of hope intermingling with flickers of darkness. Clara and the boy stood resolutely by your side, their eyes fixed on you with a mix of expectation and fear. The tension roiled in the air, thick and suffocating, but within that haze, you felt an undeniable urgency. The past was alive and demanding to be honored. Suddenly, the oppressive shadows shifted violently, and the air crackled with electricity. You will act on our behalf. A voice boomed, reverberating through the chamber, catching you off guard. The voices surged together in a torrential wave, rising and falling, an unending chant of sorrow and urgency. You must remember us. Remember us. Your heart raced as you positioned yourself at the altar, hands trembling, feeling the weight of their collective story settle into your bones. It was time to reflect their truths back into the world. With a deep breath, you stepped closer to the altar, anchoring yourself in the moment. I remember, you declared, the words escaping your lips in a determined whisper that echoed throughout the chamber. I will share your stories. The very stones seemed to sigh in relief, the shadows around you twisting and writhing less violently, though their undercurrents of rage still lurked just beneath. Clara's eyes sparkled, and the boy clasped his hands together, energy crackling between them like fireworks ready to erupt in a burst of color. But in that instant of clarity, another voice broke through, colder, sharper, a growl emanating from the depths of the shadows. You dare trust those forgotten? You will face your own punishment. The tone dripped like venom, sending icy dread slithering down your spine. You couldn't back down now. Fear clenched your chest, but the weight of their history propelled you forward. Their pain is my pain, you called into the darkness, rising despite the tremors coursing through your veins. I will not turn my back. Suddenly, a surge of light burst forth from the altar, pushing the shadows back, illuminating the vibrant history etched into the stone. You discerned names swirling in the light, shining brightly against the darkness. Each flickering name evoked an ache within, connecting you deeper to the spirits of those whose stories must be told. Visions flooded your mind, not only the pain but also moments of love and resistance, a mother feeding her child, families huddled together, warmth igniting in the cold. You are not alone. The boy exclaimed, his voice slicing through the air, as hope poured into every crevice. Each memory painted a canvas, layering vibrant stories over grief, lighting paths forward. Clara stepped closer, shining with a gentle authority. You can reach the living with our voices, awaken others to the truths hidden in the shadows. She pointed toward the distance, and for the first time, you noticed a shimmer of light emerging beyond the walls. That's the gateway, the dawn. Your heart raced in recognition. That was your purpose. You must urge others to awaken, grapple with the weighty truth, and confront the shadows. Drawing a deep breath, you called forth the echoes around you. Hear us, world. The stories matter. The lives lost deserve to be remembered. Their struggles must ignite the fire of justice. Echoes of your words reverberated through the chamber, swirling with the memories of those who suffered. With each proclamation, the shadows squirmed but softened, losing their grip on power, metamorphosing into a cascade of deep blues and purples. Resistance surged from within you, a power the shadows could not extinguish. You felt and saw Clara's spirit, the boy's fierce determination, and the multitude behind you, now emboldened. Then, something remarkable happened. The floodgates opened, voices joined yours, a collective symphony of stories bursting through the chamber, cascading like a waterfall into the world beyond. Their triumphs, their dreams, their pain, each name emerged with clarity, connecting the past to the present, telling a story that had long sought an audience. As the overwhelming tide rushed forth, shadows receded, retreating into the corners of the room, shrieking in agony as your voices drowned them out. You will be remembered. Echoed through the tomb-like silence, and as if in response, the light intensified, a radiant beacon calling others to come forth and listen, and there it was, you felt it deep down, the shift within you. You stepped closer to the shimmering light, feeling the warmth on your skin, the barrier between past and present dissolving. You had chosen to bear the burden of their truths. As you emerged into the light, the world around you sprang back into focus, colors vibrant and full. You stood on the threshold of a new dawn, whispers of the long-forgotten still lingering in your ears. Your heart swelled with a sense of purpose. You were no longer just a vessel, you had become the voice of those lost to time, the clarion for justice still sought today. Together, you had broken the silence. As the weight of your journey settled around you, an undeniable urgency sparked within. You could feel the echoes of history resonate within your very soul. This is where your fight begins. The world needs to know. If you carry their burdens, healing can emerge from the depths of sorrow. Don't just stand with their stories, share them, and let your actions breathe life into the future, because until every name is spoken, until every story is told, the fight against silence continues. Now is the time to rise. You need to subscribe now, don't miss out on what's next. This is the moment to show your support, help spread the message. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm. Every bit helps. And flood the comments section with your reactions and theories. Let our voices resonate together. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. The mission is just beginning. Let's awaken the world.